How to increase your pull-ups? That is a very common question, and that is what we're going to be answering in this video today. We have a special guest, Doc. Guys, it is a pretty lengthy video. I think it's about 14 minutes, but I was thinking about breaking it up into 2 or 3 parts, but I'm going to keep it full because the information just flows. So guys, I promise you, if you stick around and watch the whole thing, you're going to learn something, and you're going to be able to apply it immediately as to how you can increase your pull-ups. So please make sure you like this video. Any questions you have, any feedback, just drop it in the comment section below. Let's get a discussion going. So let's get right into it.
3, 2, 1, go.
What's going on, guys? Irvin John here with the fitnessjournals.com, and we have a special guest, Doc, D-O-C. So this video, as you know, is about how to increase your pull-ups. Now, you would have seen that from the title, so we're gonna get right into it. So there's a few things, people see, oh, I see this guy doing 60 pull-ups. How is that possible? Obviously, you didn't start doing 60 pull-ups. There's stuff that you have to do. There's progressions that you have to make in order to get to that level. So there's one thing that I started the video with, and it's with the snapping the joints. So people are like, oh, should you snap out? Should you do full range of motion? If you're more experienced, and you could correct me on this if you agree or if you don't agree, snapping out your joints, especially if you're not experienced, is probably not the best idea. You could easily end up getting tendonitis if you're just like letting go rapidly and letting your joints hyperextend. So if you're more experienced, if you're not as experienced as people who can do that, just take your time, do the eccentric, take your time coming down. If you could lock out as you're doing that all the way down, then go ahead and do that. But don't just lock out and let go. What do you think?
I agree with you. And also, thank you for allowing me to give my opinion on it. There are different things that I believe in coming from an old school perspective. And I don't like saying old school, but there's so many new, versions.
The old school works, so we know that.
Techniques. So what you probably want to remember to do first and foremost is listen to your own body's rhythm. And get into your own body's rhythm when you're doing your exercises, when you're going for high rep numbers. That doesn't always mean you'll have the best looking form, but that is correctable in time. So if you can find a good rhythm and reach a number that you're trying to reach, and then you can record yourself and look at your form and see where you want to improve on your form, you can start to attack the flaws within what it is that you're doing in the future. Same thing with push-ups. This is an old school mentality, where as long as you stay within a certain parameter or guideline, so to speak, of form restrictions, it's okay. This is different in competition, obviously.
Exactly.
When you're competing, you don't get that much flexibility. No pun intended. But when you're training, it's different. This is usually what I would suggest for people who train by themselves. If you train with a partner, I have different advice. So when we all begin, imagine when you first started out, and before everybody started doing the resistance bands and stuff like that, we used to spot each other, I remember I couldn't do 20 pull-ups, and I would do 10 by myself, and my man Just or D-Nice or whoever, they would spot me from either the legs or from the back or whatever to get the next 10. And about 2 weeks later, I could do 20 by myself. It sounds crazy, but this is the way the body learns.
That first reps. Those are the...
your body will learn a lot faster in that way. And I believe in spotting someone as opposed to allowing some machine or device to do the work, because your body adjusts much faster to that, because the person spotting you can feel where to help you and where to give you more or give you less, so that you can be doing the amount of work that you're supposed to be doing.
That's with the machine, it's like consistent. You're getting the same thing all the way. The machine will always be the same. Even when you change the weight on it yourself, it's still consistent throughout the concentric and eccentric motion of the movement of the exercise.
And same thing with resistance bands. It's not like it gets, although resistance bands may provide a different feel because you're doing a lot of the pull yourself. It's not like it's a machine that's on a fixed path, but at the same time, it's not like if it's a 60-pound resistance band, if that's how they call them, it's still a 60-pound resistance band all the time. So I always feel as though a human being is the best way. There's something about the synergy, someone having your back, holding you accountable. Those things are priceless, and they work really fast. And that concept of letting somebody spot you, we lose it after a while because we get complacent or comfortable with being able to do a certain number. For instance, if I can do 30 pull-ups straight every time I touch the bar for sets, what I'm asking for a spot for, right?
Exactly.
I don't need to, but if I want to be able to do 50 every time I touch the bar straight, then maybe I should still ask for a spot. All I'm saying is if the techniques that you use to reach a certain number worked, you don't have to abandon those techniques just because you reached that number. Those techniques will still work. You just got to continue doing them, increase the output, and make the small changes where you need to make them, especially when it comes to form. That is a big thing, especially when you can do high numbers. An older guy than myself, so you know that guy must have been real old. You know what I'm saying? I was so excited when I could do 40 pull-ups for the first time. I was like, yo, OG, I'm doing 40 pull-ups now. And he just cut me down and was like, if you're doing 40 pull-ups, you're doing something wrong. I just looked at him like, man, you a hater, man. You can't do 40 pull-ups. Get out my face, whatever. And as I got older, I realized what he was trying to tell me. Basically, what he's saying is, if you can do 40 pull-ups, that means try to figure out a way that it's hard for you so that you can't do 40. Maybe you can only do 10 or 15 in whichever way you just altered it. And then when you can get that way back up to a higher number, imagine how your regular pull-ups will look, you know? So these are different techniques that we used to implement back in the day to increase our numbers that sometimes didn't work for everybody else, but they used to work for me, man. You know?
Major key. I never thought of that one before. You see, that's why taking the advice from the OGs is doing it in a way that it's so difficult that, you know, in a different variation, and that comes down like doing different variations, not just sticking to a single variation, doing different. There's a lot of science stuff, but at the same time, like, just do it. You know, it's kind of like just do it. Obviously, as if you having the scientific background and whatnot, learning about, you know, different muscle contractions, like you said, eccentric, concentric, isometric, those help. But at the end of the day, I mean, just doing it. When I started, I didn't know anything about the science stuff. It was just they once again helping me out, like doing the spotting. I'm like, I don't need a spot. I thought 10 pull-ups was something, and I see these guys, you know, doing, you know, like I said, 30, 40 pull-ups, and I'm like, wait, how? So, you know, like you said, having that spot, sometimes it even feeling like it's an ego thing. You know, it shouldn't be like that. If you really cannot do it, get that assistance.
That's right.
And get that help. So, as you said, the eccentric, concentric, and then there's isometric. What about doing isometrics to increase strength?
That's my favorite. I think it's very underappreciated. We actually used to do isometric routines and isometric movements. The first isometric movement, I know that sounds weird. Sounds like a oxymoron. But the first isometric movement that I ever learned was typewriters. When you do a typewriter the right way, you're supposed to have your chin above the bar, or at least very close to above the bar, and remain there as your body's moving from side to side. So you can bring your chin to this hand, but the entire time you're still
above the bar. You're not dropping.
Right, so you're staying at the peak of the concentric phase of the movement, right, throughout the entire time until you can't do it anymore. Sometimes we would do reps like that, where we would go up for one, come across, then come back down. Go up for one, come across, come back down. But that was the first movement, isometric movement I ever learned, and it really helped boost my strength, number one. It didn't always translate into my reps until I purposely would try to increase my reps or just see where my reps were. Then I would see how I can use the new strength that I got to increase my reps. But it did boost my overall upper body strength when it came to pulls. So what I mean by that is without adding more weight, I was able to lift more weight. You know what I mean? Also, we used to do this routine, and this is a great routine to build upper body strength for your pulls. And I shouldn't even tell y'all. I don't know, but y'all subscribe to his page, so you get a free, you get this free routine.
There you go.
You do a 10-second hold here above the bar, and then you either hang for 10 seconds if you're elite, or you let go of the bar for 10 seconds if you're just starting out. And you go back to holding for 10 seconds above the bar, and you hang for 10 seconds, and you get that done 10 times.
10 times.
That is a really, really, really good exercise for building the strength. The only way, in my opinion, to truly measure strength, I'm not saying that you're not strong if you don't do it this way. I'm just saying to measure your strength is to figure out how long you can hold that tension. You know, that's pretty much the only way, in my opinion, to measure your strength. So being able to do that 10-second hold repetitiously will train a lot of those muscles that you use for your pull-ups, and you'll see how it'll translate when it comes time to add on like a 45-pound plate or 90 pounds or 100 pounds or whatever it is. You'll see like, wow, this is impressive. I'm feeling a little bit stronger. And then as you try to do your reps, right, you'll see in a week or two like, wow, this is getting a little bit easier, especially those first however long you can hold yourself up on the bar for when you're in your isometric hold, until that time runs out. So let's say you'll be able to hold up here for 60 seconds, you'll be able to do reps for 60 seconds a lot better than you were before, if that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, I shouldn't even tell you guys
this
that,
is golden.
man.
If you guys are not taking notes, or I mean, taking notes is one thing, but actually applying after you hear this, I mean, then you don't want any gains. You don't want to make any progress. But this is super valuable information right here. I mean, it doesn't really get this. Initially, I shot this video already. I didn't like it because of the lighting, but I'm here at the office with Doc, so I'm like, yo, might as well just sit down and get some real information, some real valuable information that you guys could go and apply immediately. So like I said, mine was a little bit more sciencey, but at the end of the day, I mean, that's not how, I'm gonna be honest, that's not how I learned. I didn't learn from the whole science aspect. It's now that, you know, I train people and I have to kind of break it down on that level for the science, but the actual way, if you guys want the real raw way of how I did it, this is how. I mean, that's how, and it doesn't get better than that.
And the science is dope. You want to know,
of course.
You want to understand the science of it, and but you don't want to get too mechanical or technical. You want things that have an organic feel to it that will help you always, because the name of the game is consistency. And sometimes with science, you'll lose that because you'll take more rest than you need. You won't push yourself as hard as you need to go because you have a scientific approach to it. Go by how you feel and make sure it stays organic, you know, and keep consistency as your key. You know what I mean? It's one thing to know it, to be able to convey it clearly.
It's a different thing.
And to be able to apply it practically, you know, that's also very important. Okay? I'm a done talk with it. I don't know if you ever heard anybody speak like that before, but I ain't talking no more.
But there you go. Anyway, I really don't think, I mean, I think the video is a good enough length right now, and it does, like I said, it doesn't get much better than that. I had these notes and whatnot that I wrote down, but I don't need to go back on that. I mean, it's basically what he's saying. You know, people are like, oh, how often should you train? To be honest, sometimes we train three days back to back doing the same thing, and people are like, oh, don't do that. I mean, but at the end, like you said, go on how you feel, and that's really what it is. Go on how you feel. If you're just beginning and you've never done anything like that before, it's probably not in your best interest to hit the same muscle group 3 times back to back, in 1 week. It's probably not a good idea. But as you learn your body, no one could tell you, how you feel. It's after routine, you're like, oh, I really feel it in this part of my body. I don't feel like I could go anymore. You know how you feel. So you use that, that biofeedback based on how your body reacts to a certain stimulus, which is, in this case, we're talking about, doing a workout. And if you feel like, man, I could go and do this tomorrow, you go in the gym and you're like, I could do this again, then by all means, give it a shot. So calisthenics, I think, is a little bit different when you're doing, the same muscle group. You're like, I could do the same muscle group multiple times. It doesn't take that much of a toll on your central nervous system than doing
it's very different
weight, lifting weights.
When you lift weights, no disrespect to anybody that lifts weights.
Of course not.
I'm starting to have much more of a respect for everybody in the fitness world. I hope I didn't come across as though I did in the past. But when you do weights, you're primarily isolating muscle groups, especially for those of us that have anybody that we know that does bodybuilding, you know, it's very important to be able to isolate specific muscle groups at a point to develop them in a certain kind of way. But that's not the name of the game in calisthenics. You know, we do our entire upper body at one time, we do our entire core at one time, we do our entire lower body at one time. So you recruit more muscles to get the job done at once. Even when you're doing a pull-up, you're not just working your back. You're also working your biceps, you're working your rear delts.
Exactly.
You know? So there's a lot of muscles that are being recruited to accomplish the task. And you're just talking about a regular pull-up, you know? Same thing with push-ups, same thing with dips, same thing with muscle-ups. So this is the reason why you don't necessarily need to, you know, rest every single day and then, you know, come back and hit it again. Your body can adapt to it. You know, you're using your body. Your body will adapt to what you're asking it to do. But again, most important is listen to your body. Okay?
That's it.
If you do know that today you just don't have it, I'm not saying don't work out. Work out, because your body is made to work out. You're an efficient machine. But be mindful of the type of workout. Okay, you can scale it back. You can do things that will be rehabilitating for you. You know, get in the water, maybe swim. You know, always be active. But you gotta listen to your body. As I've gotten older, I've learned that's probably the most valuable piece of information you can get, is learning how to listen to your body. Your body will tell you some crazy stuff. You know, people may think that all I'm saying is listen to your body and when to stop or slow down. But your body will also tell you when to pick it up. Okay, and it'll also tell you when to increase your intensity and try some new stuff. All right, so you got to just listen to it, and you'll find some incredible things by doing so.
This is a fact. So guys, if you have any questions, drop it in the comment section below. And matter of fact, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. What is the biggest problem, like, in calisthenics that you face? Whether, you know, I can't build my upper body, I can't build my legs, I can't, you know, something like that. Whatever it is, drop it in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who Doc is. I'm pretty sure anybody who's on my channel does know. So if not, now you know. You know, go check him out. Drop your info.
You can hit me at Team Wingate on Instagram, or just hit up Team Wingate on Instagram. Yeah, you'll see a lot more stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
In the coming weeks and so on and so forth. But for now, you can just hit us up on Instagram at Team Wingate or Team Wingate, either one.
There we go. And we got some pretty big stuff in the works as far as the whole calisthenics community is concerned. So I'm excited. I know everybody involved and everybody who's going to be, you know, touched by this whole calisthenics movement will be excited. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the support. And that's it. So subscribe, make sure, leave a thumbs up on the video. Let us know that this was helpful. If it wasn't, let us know that too. So thanks for watching. See y'all in the next video.